To have sustained change, you have to want it yourself, or at least be open to reflecting on what your beliefs are, why you believe the way you do, what messages reinforce your beliefs, and are you willing to change your heart and mind when you receive new information? That's why in Deconstructing Diversity, we're doing things differently. I can share as much information with you about humanity, belonging, companionship, and understanding, and provide a compelling argument for ending discriminatory thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. But you must be willing to do the work yourself. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron, and I want to open up the discussion about you and your willingness to change. In order to be accepting of people, we must address two communities of people: the underrepresented and systemically marginalized, and those that oppress, whether willingly or unconsciously. If you were or are consistently on the receiving end of prejudicial and discriminatory actions and attitudes, you understand how dehumanizing it is. But the attitudes and actions we seek that's prevalent today show that many have normalized or minimalized racism, sexism, ableism, gender disparities, and more. It only takes you being honest with yourself and looking at countless times Black and brown people are racially profiled just for existing, or the LGBTQ community is discriminated against for living their lives openly and freely, or women are held to a different standard of behavior and attitude and pay than men, or there's tension between the younger and older generation, or our differently abled are treated with disrespect. Yes, these negative beliefs about others, whether founded or unfounded, are incredibly powerful and damaging to us all. So it's necessary to find a path that connects those who suffer because of discrimination with those who are perpetrators of it, or those who believe they are unaffected by the problem, because we all are. Now, it's important to realize we cannot force change on others. People must be willing to change at their discretion. There's a limited amount you can actually do, but we can influence others to change. Let me explain. Think about the things that you can control about yourself: your attitude, your words, how you feel, what you learn, how you spend your time, how you work to improve yourself. These are things within your control. This is called your circle of control. But these are also the same things you cannot control about other people. What's important to note here is that other people can, however, influence your circle of control. To honestly unpack your feelings and beliefs, it's important that you remove your circle of influence and work independently to understand if you have the capacity and the willingness to change. It's worth reflecting on the fact that discriminatory beliefs are not innate, but an attitude we acquire through our relationships with others and what they believe, the experiences we've had, prejudices and stereotypes that we've built over the years. Then we consciously or unconsciously have allowed them to stay or grow. Now we have to be willing to deconstruct those beliefs and look for new truths, new understandings, and new ways to empathize with others. So let's jump in and do the work. Look in your resource folder and find the worksheet titled The Will to Change. The instructions are listed, but let me walk you through it really quickly. On page 1 and 2, we want you to think about messages that have been fed to you by family, friends, and other social circles, and what you viewed through the media. You're going to write these down based on the various times in your life that you received these messages. You'll see we have prompts that will help you remember events that were going on during those times. Next, write down any personal experiences you may have had during those times, or experiences you witnessed. You'll then write down if there was a community of people that these messages or experiences were centered around. Next, we want you to think about anything negative these experiences and messages led you to believe and feel. Next, on page 3, we want you to begin to examine your beliefs and feelings. There are questions you'll be prompted to answer about each experience that you'll go ahead and write down. What have you found to confirm your beliefs? Have you actively looked for information to debunk your beliefs? Do you have a broad belief about all people who contributed to the negative experience? Are you willing to take in and believe new information about the experiences of others? Here's what we want you to uncover for yourself. People are strongly driven by their environment and their experiences. We understand that's human nature. And because experiences are different for many of us with different identities, our feelings about those experiences could be vastly different. For example, if Dee and I were to write our experiences and the narratives that were fed to us in the 70s and 80s, I'm pretty sure they'd be different, which would then lead to us having different beliefs and feelings. So if you're brave enough to talk to someone with different identities about their experiences and believe their experiences as their truth, it might be an eye-opener for you and also for them. If you're a person of integrity, if you're a person that wears being respectful as a badge of honor, if you're a person who values humanity, then living with prejudicial beliefs or discriminatory actions toward a community of people based on their identities, well, it goes against everything you say you uphold. And we want to help you shift your perspective and develop a new lens towards others. So, put me on pause and go through the exercise. This is for you and your eyes only, so be brutally honest with yourself. Once you're done, take me off pause and let's talk about it. Starting with understanding the deep beliefs we hold on to and why we believe them, where those beliefs originate and what is feeding those beliefs will help each of us empathize and show compassion so we can connect and understand the truth of what's happening in our society. Now ask yourself a couple of questions and answer with brutal honesty. 1. Because I have not lived in someone else's shoes, am I willing to accept other people's stories as their truth? And if you're thinking, well, they haven't lived in mine either, then you're centering yourself. You're not opening your heart or mind to understanding the other person's life. This isn't about you. It's about those around you. 2. Am I willing to be open to other perspectives about people that are different than me? In this program, there is no fear. There is no intimidation. We'll share truths that have been researched and experienced. And we're centering those that are most marginalized and most discriminated against. We're not centering those that have systems built to uphold any type of superiority, because the world has been structured to uphold their views and minimize the experiences and views of others. And it's time to consciously consider and take to heart those whose lives have been devalued. So if you're a person of principle, then allow that to dictate your growth. If you do not see that there is a hierarchy of people based on societal identities, be open to recognizing it, because there is. If you do not recognize there are some systems that are intentionally or unintentionally rigged against the success of some communities of people, please be willing to challenge your beliefs. Let's end with one last thing for you to do on your Will to Change worksheet. Write down 3 ways you're willing to change any of the negative, even slightly negative beliefs you're holding on to. And then push yourself to do the work.